These conferences make up the backbone of the American conservative movement and have since the very beginning. And even those who don't always get along with us recognize the importance of the conservative base of the Republican Party, the importance of the ideas generated by the conservative movement, and the importance of all of you to the future of this country. Together, we have influenced and will continue to influence the course of this nation and the future world in which we, our children and grandchildren, live in. Thank you very much.
I'm United States Senator John Barrasso from Wyoming, and it is terrific to be back here with all of you at CPAC. As David points out, the last time I was here as part of a panel on the culture wars, and at that time I was a Wyoming state senator. And when we think about Wyoming history, I will tell you that when CPAC was in its infancy, a young man from Casper, Wyoming, set out and began his quest to get elected to Congress. So few people knew him that he actually had a button made that said, "I'm Dick Cheney." When he was campaigning one day in DuBois, Wyoming, he was sitting there in a coffee shop and a rancher was there. He went up, introduced himself. He said, "I'm Dick Cheney, running for Congress." The Wyoming rancher said, "Are you a Democrat?" He said, "No, sir." Looked at him again and said, "Are you a lawyer?" He said, "No, sir." The rancher said, "Good, then I'll vote for you." Well, I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a lawyer. I'm a conservative Republican. For the last 25 years, I've been an orthopedic surgeon practicing in Casper, Wyoming, and there I had the great privilege to know Dick's mom, Marge. She was a volunteer, and she was always volunteering her time right outside the operating room, visiting with the people whose families were having surgery. And one day I said, "Marge, why is it that you're always here? You're not delivering the flowers, you're not down in the other areas, you're always here." She said, "Oh, Dr. Barrasso, everybody in Wyoming comes through here. It's a great place to campaign for Dick." I've had the privilege of being one of his hometown constituents, one of his volunteers on his campaigns, and it was a true privilege to be sworn into the United States Senate by our Vice President and this morning's Speaker. Today is his last time at CPAC as our Vice President. And today, to me, the C in CPAC should stand for Cheney. That's because he is committed, he is consistent, and he is conservative. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Vice President of the United States, Dick Cheney. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Well, a welcome like that's almost enough to make me want to run for office again. Almost. Almost, I said. I want to thank you very much for making me feel at home. I want to thank my home state senator, John Barrasso. It's been great to see John move in and take over on behalf of a great friend of all of ours, Craig Thomas, and he's doing a superb job. He always voted for me, and come November, I'm going to vote for him. John, of course, has spent years in public service at the state level, and he and I both know it's a tremendous experience running for office in Wyoming. He told a story about Du Bois. I'll tell a story about Torrington, Wyoming. I've never forgotten when I was running for my 6th campaign. You know, I'd been in office 10 years. My picture had been in the newspaper and on television and so forth. I'd been to the rallies and the barbecues and all the door-to-door work for years. Campaigning through Torrington one day, and I came up to an old cowboy with his back up against a tree, cowboy hat pulled down over his eyes. Told him, reached for his hand and said, "Hi, I'm Dick Cheney. I'm running for Congress, and I'd like your vote." He said, "You got it. That fool we got in there now is no damn good." So one of these days, John, you'll run into that guy. He's still there.